is 18 minutes after 5 o'clock. Let's get immediate reaction to the latest development, another twist, the second one of the day regarding the development of the Memorial Stadium. We heard this morning that TRASH Horfield started the procedure of appealing the decision made at Judicial Review last week, whereby Rovers were given permission to sell the stadium for development, or Sainsbury's were given permission to build a supermarket on the Memorial Stadium. We've heard in the last few minutes that the judge has refused TRASH Horfield the right of appeal. Let's get reaction from Charlotte Leslie, who is the Bristol North West Conservative MP. It's been a day of twists and turns, Charlotte. You probably get the gist of what I've just said. What's your reaction?
Oh, it has been a day of twists and turns, but I mean, thank goodness the judge seems to be seeing common sense and seems at this point still to be doing the right thing. But I think it also casts into light just how tenuous the TRASH Horfield bid was, and just how obsessive they've become, and what really now seems a very spiteful campaign to try and sabotage something that the city really wants. I mean, if they do appeal against the refusal to appeal, that really is pushing it, and I think I'm afraid it will cast them in a very, very bad light.
Yeah, I mean, it's important you've mentioned that, because although we're at the point now, there is another 7 days whereby they can appeal against the latest decision.
Absolutely, and I think you're seeing some sort of true motivations coming through, where it's really a desperate last-ditch attempt at whatever the cost. And don't forget, these processes can really cost the public purse as well. Whatever the cost, to try and promote what's now a very niche interest view ahead of, the first legal planning conclusion, then the judicial review, judge decision. Now it may be that they tackle again the judge's decision. At some point, you'd think that sanity would say, look, we've lost, and would accept defeat gracefully. That would be the best thing for everybody. I very much hope that even at this late stage, they will take that honourable path.
The Green councillor Daniela Radici resigned today from TRASH Horfield. What is your interpretation of that?
Well, I don't know her personal reasons, but it does give the impression that what's left is a nugget of some very, very obsessive people with perhaps just an ideological objection against supermarkets in general, which most of the population don't share, or perhaps one or two people who are very obsessed about what's going to happen to their, having a supermarket right next door to them. For those people, I can understand that view, but I'm not sure it's quite the right thing to do, to expect the whole city to have to agree with you and to hold back a major infrastructure project for the city on that grounds. So I think it seems like you're left with a very narrow, sort of hardcore group of people who don't share in any way the views of the rest of the city.
So the ball is now very much in the court of TRASH Horfield, and they have to decide whether they pursue this. It's an expensive situation the case is at the moment, isn't it, in terms of employment of barristers and the like?
Absolutely. I mean, you wonder where they're getting their money from. Interesting, people seem to be melting away from it now. We already know that the majority of traders don't actually object to the Sainsbury's. We know that their environmental arguments don't stack up because, of course, the stadium's a massive boost for a railway revolution, a Henbury Loop line in the area, all these things. So, I mean, we do know that they're very unpredictable and don't follow the path that most of us would think was probably the decent path to follow. But fingers crossed that they can actually see what the honourable and the decent thing is to do at this point, and stop wasting perhaps their money that they've been given by whoever it is, but also the taxpayers' money. This actually costs a lot of money to go through processes like this, and I really don't think it's a very good use of public money to drag it on like this in a desperate last-ditch attempt to get something that we very much hope just won't happen.
OK, you raised judicial, moving slightly away from this specifically, the subject of judicial review. You raised this in Parliament and wanted it to be looked at. Is that correct? Have you made any progress on that?
No, we're not making any progress yet, because what you don't want to do is get rid of judicial reviews full stop.
You wanted them to be looked at, though, didn't you?
Absolutely. I think a proper public interest condition must be set on that. And also I think we do need to look again at where the answer, obviously, the judge has obviously come to a conclusion that the judicial review should not be upheld. To what extent you can keep on and on appealing, particularly when public money is involved. It's the public money element of this that's so galling for so many people.
OK, good to chat with you. Thanks for your time at short notice.
Yes, thank you very much.
Charlotte
Cheers.
Leslie, who's the Bristol North West